Sup, Sally? Welcome back to more Poems of Death. Did you think that first session was a bit short? Well, here's the thing, man. I recorded it back to back with Pink Eyes, Christmas Adventure, and Cliché Club, so that's why it was a little short. But now, we're going to do a proper session's worth, and it might even just finish off the mod, because this is also only a demo. It's kind of long for a demo, but it's still just a demo. Anyway, the door swings open as I enter, yeah. The usual greetings erupt, the club members quickly returning to their usual activities. Only Yuri does something different. She is currently preparing tea in the corner of the room. After I place my stuff to my desk, I go to her. Her water is currently getting into a boiling point in a pot. There's some very awkward phrasing there. What are you preparing? Yuri looks up from her work, slightly surprised. She then smiles.
I'm preparing my usual oolong tea.
Then have a good one.
Ah, thanks.
The pot clips as the water is ready. Clips? Yuri takes the pot and pours water in her cup as I go over my words. Look, Yuri, could I ask for a bit of advice? Yuri looks at me with raised eyebrows and stops pouring the tea. She then blinks multiple times.
Oh, yes, you can.
I don't want to do it here. What if we discuss this in a different environment? Yuri looks nervously around at the other club members. Then she nods.
Yeah, sure.
Alright, Monica.
Yes, Malone?
Yuri and I are going to discuss something real quick. We'll be back soon.
Oh, okay, don't take too long.
With that, we exit the room. As the door closes, we're left alone. By the way, nice sign. I like it. I point to the sign above the door. Yuri looks at it too, and then smiles. Was that all one line? Was it one of those things where you press the button and it continues? No, I point to the sign above the door. I point to the sign above the door. It's in there twice.
Oh, thanks.
Well, let me just make sure. Yeah, it really is. It really is in there twice. An embarrassing quiet spreads between us as we both look for words.
About that thing you wanted. Is it something between you and Natsuki?
Nah, that is already behind us. It is more of a pressing matter now. It involves my twin sister, Faith. Monica approaches us as Yuri and I return to the club room. I guess we don't get to be privy to that conversation.
Trying out new things?
Monica has a smug smile on her face while she says that. I know what she is doing. You know that I'm not interested in Yuri. We were only discussing something.
And that only took 5 minutes.
We were straightforward in the discussion as much as we could be.
That surely doesn't sound weird in any way.
Yeah, you can think that. As I'm looking for something to say, I come back to yesterday. I still remember how she shouted across the whole room in a phone call. By the way, what was that phone call about?
Which one?
The yesterday one. You seemed pretty angry about something. Monica hesitates for a while, telling me the answer. She should probably put a comma in there. Then she smiles.
It's personal, just like your discussion with Yuri.
Monica isn't surely revealing what was that phone call about. What that phone call was about is what you wanted that to say. Why? Meh, fair enough. I leave the topic here. I would probably be pissed if I meddled in it. Don't really know what about Monica. What? What is that sentence supposed to mean? Don't really know what about Monica. Before we can continue our conversation, Monica narrows her eyes and looks past me.
What is that?
I look where Monica is also looking. I see a brown bump of hair. Who is that? I hesitate for a while before I go over to the door. I could have just gone over it, but I had to go over. I then swing the door open as fast as I can. Hi, Faith. Faith stepped back a bit as I swung the door open. Now she looks at me with her eyebrows raised. Was she stalking us? For fuck's sake, why? I put my hand on my hip as Faith nervously laughs. I ignore the laugh and get to the topic. From when you have the habit of stalking me?
I was just checking out the school, you know.
We both know that's not true. The others notice that something's going on and come to the door as well.
Oh, hey, Faith. Wait, you know her? Yeah, I met her during Christmas.
As Yuri opens her mouth again, I shoot my hand up to silence her. Before we all get into introductions, why are you here, Faith? Faith crosses her arms as she shifts with her foot. She's clearly uncomfortable.
I just wanted to make sure I live with the right person, all right?
I'm left a bit surprised by her answer. Then I get what she is saying. Maybe a one-on-one conversation would be better than this?
I don't think that...
Monica, let me deal with this, alright? Or deal with it, alright? Yeah.
Alright, how about we give them both some time?
The club disperses as Monica addresses them and they go to their usual activities. I wait until everyone is distracted with their own stuff to turn to Faith. Time to try Yuri's advice, I guess. Look, Faith. I begin with putting my hands on Faith's shoulders and looking at her sincerely. Is it just because that happened a lot in this month? I get it. Living with a person requires a lot of trust in them. But I promise that you can trust me. You can trust that I'll protect you and that I'll be honest. You can even ask me about anything and I'll answer truthfully and honestly, right now.
A fox with rabies. Was that really an accident, or did you really try to injure me there?
I avert my eyes as I sigh. I wasn't careful enough, and I'm sorry for that.
Then how can I trust you that you're careful now?
I don't know. Embarrassing quiet spreads as I try to come with something to say. Yeah, that was a sentence. Do you trust our dad?
Why is that a question?
Please answer me. Do you or not?
Yes, I do.
Well, once our dad told me that there isn't a perfect trust. You only trust people enough. Do you trust me enough that I'll be careful?
We haven't really been together since last year, after the accident. Just like that, it isn't easy to regain it.
Then what if we started?
How?
How about you meet my friends here at the Literature Club? And if you want, they can be your friends too. Faith averts her eyes for a moment, thinking about my proposal.
Alright.
Well, at least it's a first step. I smile as I turn to the club. People, I think we have a visitor. I'm curious to know why Faith is so distrusting of everything and everything.
Persistent fucking shitholes.
Oh, we're her now. I could tell because that icon said POV. As I slam the door behind me, I should have talked in her voice, no. As I slam the door behind me, I don't bother to take my shoes off and continue to the kitchen.
I hide my gun behind my back and freeze as I look at my milk and cereal. Fuck, I forgot to put it back! I quickly come to the box and look inside. After looking at it from different angles, I grab the box of milk and inspect it. It seems fine. Alright, guess it's still safe. After I calm down a bit, I look down at the counter and sigh. I did it again, didn't I? The main door opening breaks me from my trance as Malone comes in.
Tina and I are going on a walk. We'll be back soon. Oh dear. Malone, there's a little tear going up the middle of your body there because your sprites aren't lined up right. Alright. Malone smiles as he heads into his bedroom. After a while, he comes out as he is stuffing something into his pocket. Have a nice walk. A smile is flashed at me as Malone closes the main door. Heh, those two are definitely gonna have sex somewhere. My thought process is interrupted by a grumble from my stomach. Right, the cereal. I take the cereal and milk and pour myself a bowl, then I put everything back in my drawer and lock it. With a sigh, I sit down and start eating. I stare at the wall opposite me as I put a spoon of cereal into my mouth. My vision then lands on my phone, laying on the table just a few inches from me. After I swallow, I pick it up, and after a while, put it next to my ear. Ah, hello, Faith. Oh, who's this? Hey, Dad, how are you holding up? It's their dad. Yeah, the old same problems, sweetie. Work, boss, all that stuff that awaits you. Dad, I told you to stop calling me sweetie. I know. You better remember that. Faith, I'm not a young man anymore. I can forget things sometimes. We share a laugh as I smile. How's Mom? She's going overseas to London. Business and all that. Is she still mad over what happened? I managed to calm her down a bit, but she is still fuming about it when I hit a bad spot. Should probably make managed past tense because it's in the past. I think she is going to think about it later. You think she's going to think, huh? All right. A silence spreads between us as Dad gets to the point. You're not calling me out of nowhere, right? I sigh as I lean my back against the chair.
I just can't bring myself to trust Malone anymore. My instincts are telling me not to trust him and Tina while we're at it, and to get the fuck out of here. And even with how ridiculous that sounds, when I look at what happens, I don't think I'm exaggerating at that point.
You all did what you thought was best.
What? Almost killing ourselves in the shit show or what?
Protecting each other.
Yeah, it was in self-defense, but that doesn't excuse anything, Dad.
I know it doesn't, but just try to be a bit optimistic, please.
I'm trying, Dad, but I can't. So, Faith, what do you like to read?
We have gathered around in a circle, forming a large table out of desks, just like with my arrival, only now I'm sitting next to Natsuki. Faith taps with her fingers as she thinks. She has a small black notebook in front of her.
Stories that revolve around mysteries. Which kind of mysteries? I don't really have a preference for that. If the story can fish out a good mystery, then I consider it good.
Even a story about who stole a cookie?
Why such a stupid question?
Why not?
Who would want to steal a cookie anyway? I know someone, right, Sayori? What about me? You still owe me for that cookie you stole when Malone joined.
Owen me?
But I only took a bite out of it. But that's still stealing, Sayori. But yours was chocolate. That doesn't matter. Natsuki's right. Fine, stop making me feel quilty.
That's definitely a cue. After we laugh it off, the conversation between Faith and Yuri continues. My mind, however, points in a different direction. Stay away from me? Why? What would cause someone to stay away from people? Mental illness sounds stupid in Tina's case. Then what would it be?
Malone? Malone?
What?
Jeez, you're worse than Sayori with this.
Can't I think for a goddamn minute?
Whatever.
Did you want something?
Actually, yeah.
Natsuki then leans to my ear and whispers.
Wanna bake something tonight?
I'm pretty sure it won't be only baking. Is she going to bring the topic again? Bring up the topic again? Yeah, sure. I wanted to stop by anyway.
Good. Otherwise, I would need to kick your butt in there.
Oh, please. You and what army? Natsuki grins as she forms a fist and shoves it to my face.
This army.
You make a very good point.
Faith, do you want tea?
I'm being brought back to the meeting as Yuri calls out from the corner of the room.
No, I'm good.
Why not? Yuri makes fantastic tea.
Thanks, Sayori. But I think... Because I don't want tea. Wasn't I clear enough?
From when a Brit doesn't accept tea made by someone else. Oh, she's British. I'm not about to change her accent.
I'm only half British, and don't act like you aren't half British as well, twin brother.
Alright, I'm just messing with you. Don't take it seriously. Well, your fault that you miss on such an opportunity.
I'm aware, thank you very much.
We stay quiet as Yuri places the tea in the middle of the table and starts handing out teacups. The beep noise spreads in the speakers as Dad and I said goodbye to each other. I sigh as I place the phone on the table and put another spoon of cereal into my mouth. After a few minutes, I'm done with my bowl. I get up and place the bowl into the sink when a thought occurs to me. Did Malone lock the front door? I look towards the entrance. My legs are then moving almost independently as I go. I grab the handle and try it. The door slightly opens. For fuck's sake, Malone, what did I tell you? I frown as I grab my keys and lock the door. When I'm stuffing my keys back into my jeans, an idea suddenly hits me. What if Mio had to run into her house? I smile a little bit to myself as go back into the kitchen. I go for my phone, unlock it with my fingerprint, and open up my notes app. From the top slides a bunch of notes. I tap on the longest one, titled Book Ideas. I scroll down a bit before stopping myself. Why though? Why would Mio run towards her house? Deep in thought, I mindlessly look at one of the points. Protagonist's name, Mio Weather. I look up frowning and lean with my arms against the table. Why would she? I look in the direction of the door, and then close my eyes. I try to picture our entrance as closely as possible. I mainly focus on our wooden door.
After a while, the door finally opens and closes right after. A redhead enters the house and leans against the door, heavily breathing as she is trying to calm down.
I don't have a voice for you either.
What? Who was that?
She looks out the door window. A person in black slows down in front of the house. He looks around for a while before leaving the neighborhood.
Thank God. Who was that? Some sort of spy, maybe?
Mia looks down and inspects a thing in her hand. It's a piece of paper. She rolls it open and looks at it.
A lot of gibberish.
She looks at the paper for a while, sitting on the floor. Then an idea hits her. It's a cipher. Mia then confidently nods to herself and takes off upstairs. The door slams against the wall as Mia marches into her bedroom. She places the piece of paper on a table beside the laptop. In the next while, she has a phone next to her ear. She's tapping her foot as she waits.
Hey, Mia, what is it?
I just found something amusing. Well, or we'll need to meet somewhere. I open my eyes with a satisfied sigh. Just then I notice that I'm in my room near my laptop. Oh fuck, did I get that excited about it?
Did I get that excited about it? Which is still a weird thing to say out loud. I guess not. I don't know. People talk to themselves sometimes, it's fine.
I release a nervous chuckle after that. I don't mind it anymore as I open my laptop. I better note that quickly. I create a text document on my desktop and write in it, Mia gets chased by a spy because of a cipher.
Book ideas. While I sip from my tea, what the hell am I reading? The conversation between Faith and the others continue.
And that's why cookies are my favorite.
Just because they're chocolate chips?
Yeah.
That's it. Okay, no, there is.
Chocolate is so sweet and full of flavor that I just can't get enough of them.
Okay, so hold on. I just want to see something real quick, because I want to see if that thing from the history before was just a fluke. Okay, yeah, I don't know. I don't know how they're doing their text exactly, but, like, they should be able to prevent it from going in twice, shouldn't they? Like, I think there's a text command that just continues the same line, but doesn't necessarily, like, put a second one in here. I feel like they're doing the no-wait thing. Like, this is one text box by itself, and then you press, and then this is no-weighted, so it appears instantly, and then the rest of this is a second text box. But there should be something that, like, you press to just continue the line. Which I would advise against anyway, because honestly it's really annoying. Like, I prefer just the whole line to be there whenever I press the button the first time. But whatever.
Alright, you do you.
Suddenly, Yuri chuckles at Sayori's response. Faith notices it and turns to her.
What's going on? Oh, did I laugh out loud? I didn't mean to do that. I'm sorry. You don't need to apologize, Yuri, but can you tell me why did you laugh?
Why? Yeah, whatever.
After all, laughter does heal.
Yuri looks to the side and thinks for a moment. I also stop and think about Faith's behavior. She never usually converses with people like that. Usually she would be quiet, eyeing everyone with daggers. Maybe she's better than when I last saw her?
Faith, I think that's enough.
Our attention turns to Monica, who is almost on the edge of her seat, eyeing Faith.
What? Can't I get to know Yuri? Of course you can, but can you tone it down a bit? Not everyone appreciates these levels of attention, especially this awkward.
Monica, she is just asking questions. I was also asked questions when I came.
But Yuri is... Oh, all right then.
We look back at Yuri. She has a look on her face suggesting that she wasn't aware of the argument. Faith nods to herself and leans against the chair.
I guess that's settled. Continue then, Yuri.
Yuri nods to herself and breathes in and out, thinking about a response.
Well, one of the characters in one of my favorite books said something similar to what Sayori said.
Oh, what happened afterward?
She died.
A couple of us, including Faith, Nancy, and myself, laugh out loud as Sayori sinks into her seat.
Oh.
Okay, after a fair amount of laughing, we return to our usual conversation.
What is your favorite book anyway, Yuri?
Yuri traces the rim of her teacup with her finger while she thinks.
I don't have an answer for that. There's just so many to choose from. Then at least genre?
Didn't Yuri respond to that already?
When?
When I came to the literature club myself, it was something about fantasy and deep, complex worlds, right? Thank you for not saying horror.
Yeah, something like that. Alright then, what is your favorite book, Faith?
Before Faith can say anything, I interrupt her.
Yours doesn't count, you know that.
And why don't you ram a stick up your sorry ass?
The entire club is surprised by Faith's sudden swear word. Well, except for myself and Natsuki.
I would like if you refrained yourself from using the words, Faith. Jesus, are you all so uptight here? Wait, you have written a book, Faith? Yeah, I did, and self-published it. That was a lot of bullshit to deal with.
Monica's look sharpens as she looks at Faith, but decides not to call her out on her language.
What book? Mystery of the Reaper, an urban fantasy where the main character, while trying to find who he really is, meets an outcast angel suspected of murder in his world.
Harris and Natsuki's eyebrows raise after they hear the short description.
You're a Christian? Christ, no. With the swearing I produce a mile per second? Then you just made everything up or what? Yeah, I almost did the research. After all, I can't write about heaven without knowing my shit. Faith? Yeah, whatever.
Yuri asks Faith a question about her book when I again tune out of the conversation.